Hello, I'm Monica Morales, and welcome to my Interaction of Branches of Government project. Today we will be focusing on Congress. Table of Contents. 1. What are the three branches of government? 2. Checks and balances. 3. How does Congress interact with the other branches of government? 4. How does the branch specifically interact with the states? And 5. How does the branch specifically interact with individual citizens? The three branches of government. The Founding Fathers knew that they did not want to establish another country ruled by a king, so they discussed on having a strong and fair national government that protected individual freedoms and did not abuse its power. When the new Constitution was adopted in 1787, the structure of the infant government called for three separate branches, each with their own powers. These branches were... And last but not least is our third branch of government, which is the judicial branch. The judicial branch is comprised of all the courts in the land. These courts interpret our nation's laws and punish those who break them, the highest court being the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court settles disputes among states, hears appeals from the states and federal courts, and they determine if the federal laws are constitutional or not. Next, we have checks and balances. The framers of the Constitution gave the powers to separate branches to ensure that no branch, especially the executive, would become too powerful. As in order for them to get the Constitution ratified, they needed people behind this. Anti-Federalists were especially afraid of America becoming a monarchy, so in order to avoid this, they added checks and balances. They also granted each branch certain powers over the others, the presidential veto, or the power to approve presidential appointments held by the Senate, to establish what has become known as checks and balances to further this process. And just for a little refresher, we will be giving an overview of our favorite bicameral legislator, as Congress is made up by both the House and Senate. The legislative branch. The legislative branch, also referred to as Congress, has the House and Senate. The legislative branch also has the authority to declare war, create laws, manage taxation and spending, and regulate interstate and international trade. Besides what I listed on the screen, Congress also has access to congressional oversight, which means that they can review any agency, department, or office which they are allowed to investigate, or they can hold a hearing to any of those places. Congress also votes by delegate view, which means they vote by a majority of how their consultants feel about an issue, or trustee view, which means they vote based not how the constituent feels, but how they themselves as an individual feel. So now in this presentation, we will be focusing on the questions that I was given for this project. One of the questions being, how does Congress interact with the other branches of government? We will be focusing on the executive branch first. As said before, the executive branch of government is responsible for the implementation of laws and policy adopted by the legislature. So there are many ways that the Congress and the executive branch interact. One being that the president's nominees for Supreme Court justice may be approved or rejected by Congress, and in an extraordinary case, Congress may even remove the president from office. Another way Congress and the executive branch interact is that war as well may also be declared by Congress, and the Senate can decline to ratify agreements or confirm nominees. And lastly, to answer this question, we will be focusing on the judicial branch. Since Congress is the body that enacts the law, the judicial branch engages with Congress by providing legal interpretations of the laws and making decisions about their constitutionality. The federal court's jurisdiction is likewise set by Congress. Along with the authority to impeach judges, Congress also has the authority to nominate and confirm judges and justices. Additionally, Congress has the authority to modify the Constitution and change how the federal court system is set up. How does this branch specifically interact with the states is my second question for this project. In order to answer this question, we need to look back at Article 1, Section 2, having it say, "The House of Representatives shall be composed of members chosen every second year by the people of the several states, and the electors in each state shall have the qualifications requisite for the electors of the most numerous branch of state legislature." According to the Constitution, although the Senate represents citizens on an equal state basis, the House of Representatives represents citizens based on district demographics. Each state sends 2 senators to represent their state in the U.S. Senate, while in the House of Representatives, a state representation is based on its population. For example, smaller states like Vermont and Delaware have 1 representative, while large states like California have 53 representatives. For the final question we need to answer in this project, how does the branch specifically interact with individual citizens? We need to look at how Congress interacts with individual citizens, as that is the branch we are focusing on today. The task of passing laws on behalf of the American people falls to the legislative branch of the federal government, known as Congress. The Constitution grants great authority to Congress as one of the 3 equal branches of government. Congress has the exclusive authority to enact new laws and amend existing ones, since it has been granted all legislative authority within the federal government. As said before, the Senate represents the people on an equal state basis, whereas the House represents the people based on district demographics. This can all interact with individual citizens, as the laws are what people follow on a day-to-day basis. And the Senate and the House can freely represent the information. You are able to understand what Congress does and how Congress can check and balance between both of the other branches as well, and I hope that you have a grounded understanding about Congress as well. And with our questions out of the way for this project, I just wanted to say thank you so much for listening and watching this presentation. You don't really know how much this means to me from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this presentation, if you want to suggest something, reach me via email, MonicaMorales2024@ucbos.com.